Star Citizen, eat your heart out because if you haven't just watched the 15-minute game reveal of Starfield, the latest game from Bethesda, man, I don't even know. Let's just leave it at that. I've been eagerly looking forward to this game for a long time, not just because I love all of the games that Bethesda produces, from the Fallout games to the Elder Scrolls series, but also because I'm a big, big, big lover of science fiction, and it's been a long time since I've had a good sci-fi adventure to sink my teeth into. And while I've sort of had a casual eye on Squadron 42 and Star Citizen for a very long time, I'm not one of those people who is intimately involved in that. I'm not like following every little thing that happens because I know it's going to be a forever project. It's an eventual thing. It's going to happen at some point down the road. Whereas Starfield is almost here. It was originally slated for release at the end of this year, and it did get pushed back until next year, which it is what it is. I saw the writing on the wall earlier this summer, and I was like, just kind of pushed it back off of my plate and said it's going to happen next year. I'll wait till it comes out. But when it does come out, I am going to be streaming a complete playthrough here on my YouTube, so hopefully you'll be sticking around for that when it happens. But I digress. Let's talk about the trailer that just launched today. Not even really a trailer per se, but this gameplay reveal, right? Um, we got 15 minutes of Todd Howard up on stage talking about all of these things related to Starfield. And I think for many of us, we knew a lot of it. We knew that there was going to be an RPG element because that's what Bethesda does. That's what Fallout is. That's what the Elder Scrolls games are. So we knew we were going to get that aspect of it because they do very well the RPG storyline, good voice acting, all that stuff is classic Bethesda, and we got glimpses of that throughout this trailer. We saw a skill tree, a talent system, we saw RPG elements, we heard good voice acting, we saw pretty good visuals, we saw big planets, and we saw lots of city elements and the type of RPG components that we would expect to see from a Bethesda property. But one thing that I wasn't sure of, and we got confirmation of today, which kind of blew my mind to be honest with you, is the fact that we're gonna get space combat. Not just space combat, but fully customizable spaceships that you can build with crew members that you can hire to help man these things. And from what they've said in the video, and obviously they didn't show a ton, but they did mention things like different ship builders and different types and different pieces that you can mix and match to sort of build your own. And they showed, I don't know, in the video clip, maybe half a dozen to a dozen different combinations of bits and pieces to make different styles of ships. And there was some mention of how a ship's handling and shields versus weaponry is going to play into the overall aspect of ship combat. And then we did get some ship combat visuals, which left me kind of sitting here scratching my head going, how is it that we have Bethesda being able to pull Starfield out of their hat in a relatively short amount of time compared to Star Citizen and Squadron 42 that's been taking 12 years or whatever it is now to develop, and it still hasn't even gotten close to having a beta date, let alone an actual launch date. I don't know. Just kind of makes me scratch my head. So I am really impressed with all the things I'm seeing here. Obviously, this is a future project, so there's the chance that it could be pushed back again. But I feel like the fact that they've already pushed it back once, and the fact that they've made statements to the effect that they're putting finishing touches on it now, leads me to believe that it's going to be definitely when it's going to be coming is next year. We're not going to get a further pushback. But there's other aspects of this that we got to talk about now because there is the 1000 planets supposed system thing and some other stuff, and I want to talk about that. But before we do, don't forget, if this is your first time here, this is the part where I get to say, hopefully you like this video enough to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you get updates like this in the future, because I'm going to be covering this game a lot, and I'm going to be live streaming this game completely through streams here on my YouTube channel. And if you like this video enough to want to support me as a content creator, don't forget to drop a super thanks down in the video. You can find that button down below. Choose an amount that suits you. You can buy me a cup of coffee or buy me a Ferrari. It's up to you, kind of, really. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can join the Adventurers Guild, which is our membership option here on YouTube. And we also have a Patreon page for the World of the Weave and the Void, where my wife, my brother, and I are building a point-and-click adventure game like King's Quest, along with a 5th edition tabletop setting. The source book and the first actual adventure module are already out. You can find more information about that at the Patreon page or at weaveandvoid.com. There's also a book series like Dragonlance. Chapter 20 just came out, so you can go read through that at your leisure. But let's dive back into this game. So, one of the things they showed towards the end of this gameplay reveal was the fact that you can not only land on this planet, they showed the big city that they showed in the beginning, and they said, but not only can you land there, but you can go anywhere on that planet and explore. And then they panned back and they said, but not only that, you can explore any planet in the system. And then they panned back again and they said, but not only that, you can explore every system, and there's over 100 system. But wait, there's more. And they pulled back again and they said there's 1,000 planets that you can explore and discover. And that's part of the allure of what they're building. Now, here's where the skeptic in me takes a step back and goes, wait a minute. Haven't we kind of seen and heard this before from No Man's Sky? Because we saw some No Man's Sky type elements in this gameplay reveal. We saw the laser mining the rock as an example. Oh, you can build outposts. Oh, you could build spaceships. Oh, and there's space flight. And I'm like, okay, so we kind of have all of that in No Man's Sky. But No Man's Sky is definitely more of a survival crafting game, whereas this is looking like it's a traditional RPG game that just has your, crafting and survival type elements built into it. So there is some distinction there. But when I started hearing this touting of how there's going to be, over 100 systems and over 1,000 planets to explore, I kind of sit back and I look at that number and I'm very, very, very skeptical. Now, it's Bethesda. They have a track record of putting out great games that are huge, 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 huge. I mean, look at Skyrim, Oblivion, any of the Elder Scrolls game, Elder Scrolls Online, the Fallout games. These are big, 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 big RPGs. This looks like it's taking all of that and kicking it up a notch to the next level, not just with better graphics, but also with just a lot more to explore and do. But I also have to take a step back and go from a game developer's perspective. There's no way they can realistically populate all of those planets with fun stuff to do. So if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say a lot of those planets are going to be, as mentioned in the video, some of them will just be gas giants that might only have some resources on them. Other might be ice planets. Others might be the Goldilocks planets they talk about that have life on them. But if I had to guess, it's going to be resource planets as opposed to storyline planets, which is okay, but also, don't expect that you're going to be exploring 1,000 planets and finding storyline and all those things. And I do also want to address the storyline here for a moment because for me, the number one thing that's going to keep me involved and interested in a game is going to be the storyline. And traditionally, the Bethesda games have always had very strong story. But I immediately got a Mass Effect vibe, which isn't necessarily a good thing because I don't like it when games sort of copy other games. I think there's room for originality in everything. Obviously, we all find inspiration and we all take inspiration from other sources. But immediately we see, oh, there's an artifact being mentioned, and oh, you touched the artifact and you had a vision, and I'm immediately going, oh wait, that's what happened in Mass Effect 1. We had the artifact and he touched it and he had a vision. And in this game we're finding other people have had the same vision, and now we're going to be finding these artifacts and figuring out what this vision is and who these ancient people were and what these relics are and so on and so forth. So I'm really hoping that despite the fact that we have a familiar component to the storyline here, oh, in an artifact that you touch that gives you visions, I am hoping that we get an original take on things as opposed to something that's too much of a clone to other things that we've already seen before. That being said, I am highly anticipating this game, and this gameplay reveal was exactly the thing that I had been waiting for to cement for me, in my mind, the fact that this game is real, it is coming out, it is going to be a good game. Visually, it looks amazing. Everything looks like a solid RPG. I'm not seeing anything here that's like, breaking new ground or anything like that. But I do see a solid RPG taking place, which looks like it's going to have some pretty cool space combat and other stuff, which makes me start wanting to chomp at the bit a little bit for Squadron 42 because I don't really care about Star Citizen so much as I do about Squadron 42. I want Squadron 42 to hurry up and get out. But in the meantime, I'm happy to play this because I'm always going to play a good sci-fi game, even if it doesn't have space combat. But this does, which is a bonus, icing on the cake. I can't wait to play. Love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down below. See you in the next episode, everybody. Take care.